Hi there and welcome to another episode. In this episode, I'd like to talk about the current news that has came out in the last week or so about Lidl becoming the best paying supermarket basically the highest paying supermarket within the UK. So Lidl announced that a pay rise from March next year, which it says will make its UK the highest paying supermarket. It will increase its minimum pay for employees outside of London to £10.10p an hour and £11.40 for more experienced workers. So basically, if you're an entry level, it'd be £10.10, and if you've been there a while, it'd be £11.40. That's what I gather from this. So in addition, it added to increase the hard work and dedication of its frontline colleagues during the last 18 months of the pandemic. Because before, it was £9.50 for entry level, so now it's going to be £10.10. And then it was £10.85 for more experienced employees, so it's going to go to £11.30. So, and that's going to be from what they've said from March 2022. So, Lidl is still expanding from what I can see from their information and everything, and they currently have more than 850 stores in the UK and on track to increase to 1,000 stores by the end of 2023. So they're looking at increasing it by about 150 stores in the next 2 calendar years. And it clearly wants that competitive edge by offering an increase in hourly pay. So it's said that the more representative a pay rise, more than 6% for some, for more than 21,000 of Lidl employees, and about 80% of its staff would benefit from it. So the minimum wage for workers over the age of 23 in this country is £8.91, but from April 2022 it's going to be £9.50. So again, there's going to be the standard, like minimum wage is going to go up, but again, they're still paying more than that. They're paying 60p an hour more than that as a standard anyway. Now, what's really interesting for me is, especially because obviously now there's a shortage of, well, I'm not going to say this in a derogatory way, and I don't mean it to be, but of cheap employment. So you can't just go and get hundreds of staff at minimum wage because there's just not the people there. So they're competing for talent now. So like if you've worked at Tesco's, if you've worked at Morrison's, if you've worked at Asda, if you've worked at Aldi, if you've worked at Sainsbury's or Waitrose or any of these, and they're not paying you as much as Lidl will grab not only the standard employees, but they'll also grab the experienced ones. And with these experienced ones comes greater knowledge of processes, systems, and especially if they've got an engaging management and an observant management and leadership structure, you will be able to see the fact that these people are coming in and be able to take advantage of those. So the latest pay rise will cost Lidl about 18 million as an investment plan. But what I really like about it is they're calling it an investment plan. Not just a wage increase, they are investing in their workforce. So, but another thing, a woman called Nan Gibson, Lidl's chief HR officer, said they're not going to pass this onto prices. So the price the customer pays is not going to be affected because of obviously the increase in the wage for the staff. So that means, this is one of only a few that I've actually read, a company has seen the fact that they can cut overall profits, make a better working environment, and not make somebody else pay for it, which will inevitably make their organisation better. I always constantly say this to people: short-term pain for long-term gain. The staff that they will be able to recruit through this is the future of their business. It's the future of their organisation. It will push Lidl further in the future. And if they're going to have an extra 150 stores like their target is, so they're going to have over 1,000 stores, 1,000 stores will have a large impact on recruitment. I don't know how many, it depends obviously, I should imagine, on how big your store is versus how much staff you have versus how much your wage bill would be for permanent staff, part-time staff, and then like reserve, almost like staff you can call on in during busier times, and maybe around Christmas they have to recruit more on a 6 weeks to 8 weeks fixed term contract. But either way, it's going to be a large employment. So if you're going to increase the minimum standards you are going to pay, you are going to attract the best of the people who are in line for minimum pay. And, if you are going to college or university and you're funding your lodgings and you're trying to gain work experience, it's going to put you in a better stead, not only because you're in an organisation which is progressive, but you're also earning a bit more as well. You don't have to work in a pub every night of the week and every weekend to get through your education. You could potentially work 5 days in the week, work a late shift or afternoon shift, and then you still have the weekend to concentrate on your studies, you still have the day to concentrate on your studies. From what I've read as well, Lidl are quite flexible within their working hours. So again, but I'm not going to knock other supermarkets. Other supermarkets will copy this trend. They will all fall in line because they will just lose so many people. It's like Morrison's, even though £9.50 is going to become the minimum wage as of April 2022, they are going to be starting to pay their employees £10 an hour. So Lidl have seen that, and now they're paying 10p more. Is 10p enough going to take you away from Morrison's versus Lidl? It depends obviously on the culture and how Morrison's is. But for some people it will be. It will be enough for them to shift. So anyway, I just found this very interesting, and I hope you find some bit of use out of it, and maybe it can give your organisation or business a little bit of look on how some of the larger companies deal with things. And yeah, I hope you stay well, and I'll catch you in the next episode.